Indeed, greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again this windy day. I appreciate you sharing this space with me. Yeah, I think we're going to be dealing with wind the entire day. I kind of came and sat where I'm sitting right now again because I assumed with the fact that there are one, two, three walls surrounding me that there won't be that much wind. I was mistaken. I was sorely mistaken. But it has been really windy the last 2 days, and there is no escaping it. I didn't want to have the same perspective I had yesterday, so we have this one today. Thank you, friends, for joining me here. How have you been? How's life been treating you? I've been feeling good. Thank you for asking. If you're asking, I've been feeling really good. Um, I'm busy running an experiment right now that I do hope succeeds. I didn't necessarily do things the way I was supposed to. Not all of the things the way I was supposed to, at least. But experimenting and finding out for yourself usually is the fun way to do it. Jovan, thank you, my friend, for joining me. How are you doing? I'm gonna reach out to you after the stream. We do have the podcast today, so I'm not sure if I'm going to stay for 2 hours again today, but we're going to be here for as long as we need to. At least it's working. At least it's working. We can't fault our pen for not working today. They have been changing stuff though. Man, Arpan, not even Arpan, just Reddit actually, changing stuff about my user interface. Stuff I got so used to doing over and over again the same way. And now I have to relearn. Damn it. Why you gotta neuroplasticity me? Reddit. Hey Lisa, thank you for joining me, my friend. How are you doing? How are you doing? Man, Mamoni. What topic does your podcast cover? We're usually kind of shooting from the hip type of podcast, my friend. We don't necessarily cover certain subject matter, but if I'm going to think back to all of the things we have been discussing, we usually talk about future technologies, we talk about spirituality, we talk about knowing versus not knowing, we talk about one another sometimes, we talk about things that we can't necessarily completely grasp. We like to talk about science, we like to talk about new information that's coming out. We like to talk about the shows we've been watching, the games we've been playing, and the experiences we've had in doing so. And then we come together and we discuss those things. Hey, to you, I have Horace. Thank you for joining us again. Infamous One, my beloved friend. I love you too. Thank you. I'm great. How about you? How was your day? My day was going really well, or it's still going really well, Lisa. I got up earlier this morning to get some stuff done because I've been excited to do it for a while now. Been doing that the entire day and still have some more to do after stream. Oh, I'll have to do it quickly. So yeah, I've been having such a good day, Lisa. Like so busy, so productive, and so blessed. It's been a lot of fun. How about yours? Like, how was your day? Do anything new? Drugs are bad? Yeah, they are, friend. But what do you consider a drug? Coffee is technically a drug. Cigarettes, very much so. Alcohol, even more so. Sugar that you eat technically does the same thing that drugs do to you. So where do we draw the line? Get a haircut and get a real job. College, organic. My friend, are you happy with your haircut and your job? If you are, and you believe that that is the only way to attain happiness, then maybe I'll take you up on that offer, friend. But I've had a haircut and I've worked jobs. I'm not scared of working, friend. I still like work every single day, helping my mom around the house, helping her with her business. If it's mixing batches of dough or helping her package her stuff, or doing what I'm doing right now. It's still a secret, but there's a lot to do, my friend. It's 10 a.m. just starting, to be honest. I hear you. I hear you. I kind of have still a little bit of a disconnect knowing that there is a little bit of a time gap. Is this a cult? No, my friend. Very much not so. A cult requires a bunch of people to deify a single person that believes that they have the answers and they are the only ones that have the answers. And the reason the cult gets formed is as a servitude, towards this one person with the answers. I don't fucking know anything. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. All I do know is that everything I've been able to achieve in a very human existence, And that is the one thing we all have in common, is our humanness. So no, very much not a cult, friend. Cults expect you to deify someone. There's no deification. We are all equals, my friend. We are all equals. I love cults. That's a cult. The happiest people in the world have the least. Very much so, Mo Money. Very much so, friend. Like, this is the most broke I've ever been in my life. It's been almost a year now since I've earned a traditional salary, if you will. And as you say, this is the happiest I've been in my entire life. And I'm not saying go broke, don't earn money for a long time. That's how you achieve happiness, because no, that is not how you achieve happiness. But for the first time ever, I have disconnected my attachment to what I think of myself or what I think of my happiness and my financial abundance / how much daras I get every month. I thought that getting more dara means more happy, but no. Doesn't work like that at all, unfortunately. Nothing that is number based is going to work that way. You can't number your way into happiness, because happiness isn't number based. It's just unfortunately not how it works. It's an active presence, my friend, an active presence. When you feel like you have less, sometimes that presence needs to be enhanced so that you can appreciate what you do have even more. And I don't think you necessarily have to be in a state of lack to experience that as well. I just think it might make it easier sometimes. Sure, we draw the line at what drugs are, but what our government says. Yeah, I hear you, Soviet Canada, but the government is also working with the pharmaceutical companies. So the pharmaceutical companies are selling you meth and tablets, in the form of Adderall or Concerta. And those things aren't considered drugs, they're considered medicine. Why? Like, those things are significantly worse. Like, I would rather have my 14-year-old smoke joints than have him take Adderall every single day. And I'll stand by that. That is not the way. And the problem is this disconnect where people assume that if it's in a bottle and if it's prescribed, then suddenly it's just medicine, then suddenly it's no longer a drug. Everything are drugs, dude. Everything is drugs. Like, everything is just chemistry, technically, to be more exact. When we're trying to attach certain values to certain chemicals, trying to say certain chemicals are worse than others, chemical isn't the problem, my friend. Miseducation is the problem. And by the government just saying that something is a drug, that is basically when miseducation starts at the first. The freaking wind is kicking my ass today. I feel the society I live in is a cult. Ooh, that's a trip, I have Horace. Yeah, I think the society we live in right now is the cult of consumerism, if you really want to think about it in that way, right? Because we're all subscribed to this idea of technological advancement. We're all subscribed to this idea of the betterment of mankind. We're all subscribed to this idea of liking new and shiny things. Why is that as well? So in a way, we are deifying capitalism in a way. So yeah, you're very much right, IFRS. Thank you for saying that. You look marvelous. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, College Organic. Everybody was a baby once, helpless and innocent. That's very true. That is very true. And I believe that that baby stateness, is kind of equal for all of us. Maybe the body you get born into and the social economic status, the country, disabilities or no disabilities, like as soon as you enter that body, if you will, I believe it's like the exact same state of consciousness that enters that body. And then that state of consciousness continues within that body, and then the body basically starts to associate its state of consciousness with the body, and then the ego is formed around that knowing. Knowing, if you will. Man, it's cold and this wind is still cutting me. What is my intention for today? Man, I've been feeling really light. That's the intention. Light. Today we're going to be light, my friends. Be it the light that you can see or the light that you feel. I feel light. Both of them will be the intention. Society is not a cult. Society doesn't pretend to offer you fake enlightenment. It has its own issues, but it's not a cult. I don't think a cult necessarily has to offer enlightenment at all. Does it? Maybe in some ways. Maybe like most cults form because the person running the cult tries to convince people that the only way for them to achieve what they need to achieve is through the worship of that person. And in the same way, like Christianity would be a cult as well. Because again, it expects you to deify a person, one person in order to get to the point where you're supposed to be going, when no person is going to be able to give that to you, ever. Like it doesn't make sense as to why you would want to start the cult or why you would fall into that. Like if someone tells you ever that you need them in order to get enlightened, run as fast as you can, because that person does not have your best interest at heart. What I genuinely believe is that each and every single one of us are as beams of light from the source, that is the sun, as an example, and realizing that your source is that sun as you are in your wave function of a light beam, right? Realizing where you come from, that is enlightenment. And that is something that is a little bit singular. You have to kind of come to that point yourself. No one can give that to you, unfortunately. Hello friends, I was over in the YouTube land. Hey Yater, thank you for joining us, my beloved friend. How are you doing, Yater? How have you been feeling? How's things been going? I've been poor, living in a car, and rich, own 2 houses, and I must tell you, hard work and moving more is 100 times more comfortable than living with less. I agree, friend. I agree, and I'm not planning on living with less for the rest of my life, if you will. But I also don't want to live a life of excess. I don't think, and this might be a controversial statement as well, I don't think I want to buy myself houses. I hear you have 2 houses, but for one, you can only live in one house at a time. So, light and love. You can only live in one house at a time. Or you're going to rent that house out. And don't get me wrong, I understand that equity helps you build value throughout the years, and you can then give this equity to your children and your children's children. And I respect that. But I feel, man, the housing industry in America especially is more of a trap than anything. It's selling money, quite literally. I'm not going to get into that trip today. I think living I genuinely, dude, genuinely, like for me, at least for the next 5 years or so, my ideal living arrangement is living in a van, going from place to place, seeing different people, seeing different places, being able to communicate with the people in those places, being able to touch the lives of the people in those places. Like it's a part of the plan for me to get mobile. And then go to schools, like we have in South Africa especially, these Bible periods where you're basically expected to go to the main hall and then sit quietly as some random dude comes and preaches to you about Jesus. And then you listen to all of this and you're like, okay, and I'm going to go on with my day. So I want to kind of conquer that market, if you will. You can basically just go to a school, tell them what you want to tell the kids, maybe even give them your presentation as you would give it to the kids. And then you basically get the job, if you will. You show up for your appointment or your meeting or your whole session and you talk to kids. I came from a place of extreme depression as well, my friend, and being able to just equip kids with a little bit more information about how they can deal with stuff like that, how they can kind of reframe their understanding of that depression and reframe their understanding of themselves as well. Like it's going to be a part of the book I'm writing, so I want to even give those books away for them, like away to them for free when I get to that point. You know, I'll be like, okay, here is the talk, here is the information I've gathered so far. If you want more of this information, the book is here for free. You read it, you gain some information, you better your own life. I don't want anything. You know, that is my goal right now, friend. Owning houses, and what's the other thing you said? Yeah, owning houses and cars and stuff like that, that is secondary, friend. That stuff comes afterwards. Sorry for getting into it, college. Man, this wind is kicking my ass today. I got my hands busy, but I'll be lurking with you all in the background. Love you, Jovan. Thank you, my beloved friend. We appreciate you, even in the background. Meltmore, you asked yesterday what patience would taste like. Curious on what our friends think. That was an interesting question, right? What do you friends think patience would taste like? If you could create a flavor, you know, and you could literally call it patience, and by drinking it you would instantly recognize it or even feel patient in drinking it, what would that flavor be? Do you think it would be something strong? Do you think it would be something mild? Do you think it would be something that has an extremely quick onset of like flavor? So as soon as you take the sip, like poof, it just explodes your face with flavor. Or would it do the opposite to let you be more patient, and in doing so you realize patience? Maybe like you take a sip and you're like, this tastes like nothing, and then suddenly the flavor starts filling your mouth. What would patience taste like? What is the guy talking about? Is the more stream of this more stream of consciousness crap? I'm happy you think consciousness is crap, my friend. I mean, it's literally the base of your existence. What do you think you are without being conscious of it? And why do you think that is not something that is valuable to think about or to discuss or to try and experience more of? If I must bow my head, let it be to the lofty mountain. If I must bow my head, let it be to all that is. I mean, I get it's basically the same thing, right? Lofty mountain, something big and magnificent, all that is. Something big and magnificent. Our thing worth saying, oh man, I have the hiccups. Our thing worth saying today is in the end, no. In the beginning, the end is already present. Nah, this one's gonna take me into a loop. I don't wanna think about that one. Be a beacon to all that surround you. Yeah. Be a beacon to all that surround you. Yeah, that's something worth saying, man. That makes me feel good. I'm doing well, my friend. Glad I'm here now with all of my favorite people, and I'm so happy to have you here, Yater. Use my favorite peoples as well, man. I want to read it. Can confirm. It's trap. Yeah, definitely, definitely is a trap, Jovan. But I mean, it's not one that is going to keep you forever. It's just gonna keep you for a while, if anything. I want to read it. What book? It is going to be called The Divinity Meter, friend. I'm like 93 pages in, so it's not finished yet, but I'm getting there. Melt, yay, hi. Hey, Mammy. Thank you, my friend, for joining us today. I appreciate you being here. How are you doing? Parents would be like spring water, I think. Oh, patience would be like spring water, I think. Mmm. So, now I'm like thinking especially. So I kind of agree with you, Jovan, but I agree with you in a way that I didn't really anticipate I would agree with you. Because at first I was kind of thinking of the actual taste and flavor that the water would have and in that way communicate patience to you. But now I'm thinking more about like we have this mountain called Drakensberge here in South Africa, and it snows on the top of it sometimes, and then as a result of that there are these natural ice cold springs. But you have to kind of climb mountains. You have to literally climb a mountain, go into the bushes to find these springs. And I can tell you, it tastes amazing. And I feel more that the experience behind the taste, the experience of climbing the mountain, getting out of breath, getting thirsty, and then getting to the water and then being able to take a sip of it, that maybe would be the taste of patience. But I feel it has a very physical aspect to the taste, if you will. Or maybe distilled water. Maybe like distilled water. I actually had some distilled water today, interestingly enough, Jovan, and it wasn't very pleasant. Hello? 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 She's freaking dirty. She's super excited. I don't know where she just came from. Damn, haven't made it in here in a while. Hey, Towley, it has been a while, my friend. Thank you for joining us. How's life been treating you since you were last here? Great stream last night. Hello, everyone. Jovan, I watched your stream this morning. Love the painting. I think Jovan deleted her post in the meanwhile because I actually clicked on it as well, but I couldn't find it, or at least it was gone by the time I tried to. It was like 3 a.m. when it came out, or when you went live. I was like, yeah, I'll have to start staying up until 3 a.m. so I can catch you on live as well. To light, my friends. I'm going to light this up. Light. Both a particle and a wave. Both physical and not. Both ageless, timeless, and temporary. Light is weird, yo. And we're just like, yep. Everything we see is just light being bounced back into our eyeballs. Light is literally what has made us capable of perceiving this world in the way that we do. And there's this understanding of light and this idea of light and this embodiment of light that humans can have. You can look at a person and you can see light within them. You can even see the lack of light within people. When there are technically no photons. Maybe there are. Maybe we just do not have the abilities to perceive it. Maybe quite literally we do exude or put off photons. I know I'm like hippie, crazy talking, but I'm just thinking, like speculating. What if, maybe? Who knows? Is that your diary? Not exactly, Epstein. It's more a book of things worth saying, my friend. Be a beacon. This is lit. You are lit. You are fire. So much. So much. And you are a beacon as well, Gator. I hope you know that. There's a difference between consciousness and a stream of consciousness. As I know now, stream of consciousness is making fun of the idea of pretend enlightenment, usually by stoners on Reddit streams. Lol, no offense, I'm just saying, oh, no offense taken whatsoever, my friend, Tardy McFly. I hear what you're saying. Stream of consciousness. So like this would technically be in some ways a stream of consciousness, because we're talking as things arise within our, I think now, collective consciousness, because technically I'm not doing this alone, right? I can't think about things, I can't talk about things, I can't experience things like I'm alone, because I'm not right now. We're not alone right now. We're not like redenering. We're not experiencing this existence alone at the moment, and technically we never are. Goodness, wind. Why you gotta like really hurt me like this? It's so freaking cold. But I've been hoping that I can keep this blanket there as a windshield. But I want to keep it as a windshield for myself now, no longer for the audio. I'm sorry, YouTube friends, if the audio sounds absolute dumpster fire trash. Like, call me out. Tell me in the comments, Meltmore, dude. How dare you? You should have stayed cold so we can have good audio quality. And I'll be like, you're right. You're right, I'm sorry. Dublin is very rainy today. Cool. Nice and cool, 55 Fahrenheit or 13 degrees Celsius. That is kind of cool. It's about the same temperature here right now, Mammy. More dog. Yes, it was. Squiggly eyes. Not bad. I started drawing again recently. Used to be a hobby of mine. Want to do drawing a day, so I stick to it. That sounds amazing, my friend. If you would be willing to, Tally, we would love to follow along with you. We do have a Discord server that we would love to see your drawings if you'd be willing to share them. Life is a real trip. Life is. Oh, I got lucky then, cause I watched Jovan's stream at 8 a.m. today and it was still there. You definitely did get lucky, Mammy. We are beings of light, very much so, real trip. Actually, haven't done my drawing of the day yet, so time to start that. My friend Tali, if you would be willing to, I would love to accompany you during your drawing. If you would want to keep listening as you draw, and then maybe like every now and then be like, okay, I finished like 10% of said drawing. I would love to follow along with you and cheer you on. I love the co-creation of all of the friends of the stream, and I also love the contrast when you are forced to be solo when Arpan fails you. Just want you to know that, my friend, all is loved. And I love you, Yater. I love you so much, man. Thank you so much for just being a being of light as well. Fulfilling my cup, lighting my torch, showing me that love is true. Man. You are doing a good job. Thank you, Knob Riven. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you saying that. Love to you. When I first got here, I think I heard you say you're writing a book. Yes, I am, Tali. I am writing a book, my friend. What would you like to know about it? Everything? Okay, I'll tell you a bit about it. The idea, at least my idea for the book and the way I've written it so far. So I'm going to tell you everything I'm done writing with. I started the book off by writing about the different brain levels, if you will. We have multiple sections of our brains, and these multiple sections basically have different responsibilities. And I gain some understanding with the reader, if you will, about that, or explain some understanding to the reader about that. Then it transitions into talking about consciousness and how consciousness can be seen as something that arises from the brain or something that could be beyond the brain. That as an understanding being explained, I go into explaining the Freudian idea of the id, the ego, and the superego. Not necessarily 100% factual or the way that it is, if you will, but it does have some value in educating yourself or giving yourself a little bit more of an idea. Freaking dogs are being crazy. Then, after that, I go into explaining different, it's consciousness, then it is neurochemicals. I go into explaining the different neurochemicals and how these neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, norepinephrine or adrenaline, have on your beingness, gamma as well. And I think I missed one of them. Has a weird name. Anyway, oxytocin as well, obviously. Going into explaining how these chemicals affect our consciousness, affect all of the previous things I just explained. Different levels of the brain, different levels of the ego. Then, after having explained how these chemicals can influence your consciousness, I go into explaining reward systems. So, reward systems, there's like 5 of them. It is time, money, love, status, and things. So, depending on what you lacked the most during your upbringing, during your life, those are usually the things you value most as an adult or as a teenager. And those things can affect your consciousness. Then, after all these things have been explained, I go into explaining how this knowledge can basically equip you to be a better person when it comes to your social interactions. Because understanding not only how these different levels of your own beingness affects yourself, it gives you so much more information to look into and to understand how it affects someone else. So then, with that knowing, if you will, I go into explaining different ways in which you can use this knowing to make the lives of those around you better, including your own. And that's the idea of the book, my friend. Thank you for the wholesome rosy dove. I appreciate you, my friend. It was also very cool to meditate with you when you did to pass the time, even if it was short. I love that opportunity. I actually do want to genuinely get into doing something like that as well, Yader. Like a scheduled meditation session that we could do together. Yeah. I think we can do it. Would it be something you'd be interested in? The audio was just fine. I'm happy to hear that. Like, I believe the Reddit audio will be fine. I'm just not so sure about my YouTube audio. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I think it should be better than it would have been if I didn't apply this piece of cloth. Like, there was pieces of cloth on both sides of it to keep the audio okay, if you will. Hello to you! Thank you for joining us. 3P1... Okay, wait. EPIC. Epic. I got wrecked. Thank you for joining us, Epic. I appreciate you joining us, my friend. Hey, TJ is here as well. Happy weekend to you, my friend. Thank you. I'm also happy we made it. How have you been, my friend? How's life been treating you? How's the kids? How's the job? How's your significant other? Okay. Give me a subject to draw. You know, I'm feeling a little bit biased, Towley, because I want to try and form some sort of visualization for myself of what things that melt would look like. So what would be something kind of simple to draw, because the melting part might be the most difficult part about it. Like a smiley face. Can you do that? like just a smiley face that is just like melting down onto the page, or like almost like it's vertical and it's melting down, if you will. If you would be willing to, but I am biased, my friend. I am very biased. Your words are so calming. Thank you, man. Thank you, Doobie. I love you too, Alice Doobie. You're so appreciated, friend. I'm happy that they can bring you some calm. This is the way. I'll get your Discord in a bit too. You don't have to, Tali, but I'll appreciate you sharing that space with me. Are you preaching? No, I'm not, friend. I'm just sharing my experience. Mammy, I got taken down because I accidentally clicked on and streamed to the wrong subreddit. Oh, you didn't even delete it, Javan. I'm sorry for thinking that you did. Love. What do you want to kick? I don't want to kick anything. Like, it was more a question of, what do you do for kicks? You know, something that gives you a jolt, something that makes you feel alive. But you put it in the right sub, I thought. The artist sub, or should it have been in the U show? I don't know, but your stream was lovely anyway. I'm sure it was. Javan's streams are always so gentle. Sounds like a lot of books about consciousness, what makes yours uniquely yours. I'm the one that wrote it. Tarty McFly. That's what makes it uniquely mine. Nobody else writes the way that I do and think the way that I think about things. So it is my consciousness flowing into the pages. What do you think makes anything original, friend? What do you think makes anything unique? It was fun until I lost your beautiful painting. Okay, my friends. It's a very mellow Saturday here. I'm gonna go for a short nap before I start cooking dinner. You have an absolutely amazing one, Mammy. Thank you so much, my friend. Any interpretation is unique, even if it's slight. There is value to be found. Thank you, Yater. I'm so happy that you and you friends as well have this understanding, this expanding of consciousness, this higher level perspective, if you will, I could say as well, because it feels like I don't necessarily have to do it all the time. Complex is strong with this one. I'm happy you think so. Tenayaz, yes, Tenayaz. What do you think a complex is? Or how do you think a complex forms? And don't you think there is more to be said in your ability to see those things than it really is for the person to be trying to do something like that? Because I feel, if anything, and I believe this very strongly, that we're just mirrors of one another, you know, and we see things and we experience the feelings after we see things because we have some sort of experience prior to it, right? We have these plethoras of bias that we carry along with us. Why do you think that, Tanias? Why do you see that, friend? What do you think it says about you? Sign me up. That is heavy material. Super cool that you're 90 pages in. Thank you, Tali. I'm happy you appreciate it as well, friend. That's a lot of progress. It has been. Meld, have a great Saturday. See you soon. Thank you, Mammy, for sharing the space with us, my friend. Look forward to reading. I'll be drawing a cat, by the way, so I'm 0% done with my cat. Thank you for letting me know, Tali. A cat. Okay, I like that. My cats are very much two-dimensional, kind of around a small triangle nose, stripe, happy little eyes, whiskers. Cat's done. So that's the bar you have to pass, Towley. I'm pushing you a little bit, my friend. Is this how you're working through your mental health issues, Tardy? I think sometimes it is, you know, no interest. And that's the reason I read them as well. Because if I try to ignore them, if I try to pretend like those comments or those feelings or those perspectives don't exist, then I'd be taking something from them. Life's good. Heat wave here in Oregon, US this week. Other than that, all is happy, healthy, and productive. Thank you for asking, brother. How's the pop in the truck? Truck is actually running again. Interestingly enough, that EG, TJ, like my brother has been driving it. The pup is growing up. She's getting real big. She's solidified in her personality now as well, and she's a beautiful little being. Sup to you, Space Odyssey. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Is this guy German? Nee, ek is nie German nie. Ek is tegnies Afrikaans. Ek kom van Suid-Afrika af en ons praat Afrikaans hier. So ten minste baie van die wit mense doen. Nie baie, ja, baie van die wit mense doen. Maar daar is net soos 11 miljoen mense in die hele wêreld wat die taal praat. So dit is nie so populêr nie. South African, yeah. Lekker. Lekker indeed, my friend. Okay. 5% done with cat. Almost have the shape right. Sassy man. Thank you. I'm happy you appreciate it. Really infamous one. I feel sometimes I'm being mean. It's not about being mean. It's only a laugh, you know. It's a jest. Yes. Sassy, jesting, however you want to see it. Hey everyone, a gloomy sunshine, Christine. Thank you, my friend, for sharing this space with us. How have you been? How have you been? How's life been treating you? How's the furniture? How are the kids? Have you gotten to take that camp yet? 5% is better than 0%. This is the way. Oh, yes, it is. I'm the one who wrote it. I'm the one who wrote it? I'm the one who wrote it. I'm the one who wrote it. What do you mean, infamous one? What do you mean you're the one that wrote it? It's going right over my head. I might have said something and you said something about that, but I'm missing it now. Lane, thank you for joining us, my main. I just wanted to pop in and send some good vibes. Well, fortunately, Lane, we're like kind of close to the bottom of the comments, so I might actually have found you live if you're still here. Thank you for joining us, Lane. I love sassy pants, I'll give you some sass. Don't think that love can't come with some spice as well. You know, it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be warm, but sometimes just like put a little bit of spice in it. Just so you'd be, whoo. You're fine, man. Thank you, Tali. I love you, friend. Sending you good vibes back, Lane. I think Lane is already back in the universe. Somewhere in the world, absolutely vibing. You know, I've never been to a metal concert or festival or however you want to say it. And I think for the longest time, even though I used to listen to metal myself, and I have a bunch of friends that listen to metal, I've never had metal friends like Lane. You know, not metal friends that grow their hair out and have like Slayer posters in their room, you know, like proper metalheads, if you will. And there was some sort of bias slash fear within me as well, like to an extent, you know, if only to the extent of not knowing, you know, and not having met a person like that. So it was more an uncertainty of. And then having met Lane, I look forward to being one day I look forward to one day being able to go to one of his, you know, performances and mosh pit with all the other metalheads, you know, all in love, all in understanding and acceptance of one another. How is the wind still fucking with my flame? Please, Mr. Wind. They're all doing pretty great. I'm taking my son back to school shopping. Back to school shopping today. Gonna get some books. Probably not gonna get some books. Maybe. I don't know exactly how it works in America, but at least in South Africa, we kind of had these little packets they would give us at school that had all of our scored books, if you will. Do you call them scored when they have lines? I'm not sure. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I had all of our little lined books, if you will. Had some pencils, had some erasers, had like a crappy pair of scissors, and I had like a single stick of glue, and then we had to get the rest. Do you get those books at least at like American schools, or do you have to buy those for yourself as well? I do remember thoroughly enjoying back to school shopping because it was like this. Oh, getting some new fancy stuff, maybe get a, like we used to get, I think, pencil cases once every 2 years. And like getting a new pencil case was just the most lit thing ever because I was like, yeah, my old pencil case is like falling apart. The zip is no longer working and stuff. I finally get to get a new one. It was just, yeah, such a fantastic time. Mm, there was some good sass yesterday about the one ARPANET streamer hogging all of the ARPANET. No, yeah, only you were allowed to see that, friend. Only you. There was sass, dude. There definitely was sass. I was like, damn it, damn it, what the fuck? Mm. I once met a family from SA at the pub I work at. Asked them about the language Afrikaans, and they all replied, "We love Afrikaans," almost sarcastically. Is this still a native language or just a taught one that people don't use as much? So that's an interesting question actually, TJ, because it's a little bit of both. I feel South Africa, in a way, like at least the white population, the more old traditional, like conservative Christian oriented type of individuals are still very much attached and proud of the language Afrikaans, to the point where in certain towns you would be made fun of if you were to try and speak English to them, or you would not be accepted if you're only English speaking, for example, because they just refuse to speak English. Like my mom, even, I have English friends, she refuses to speak English to them, she just speaks Afrikaans to them, stuff like that. So I think it definitely is a sense of pride for some South Africans that leave the country, though, like as you said, a family that was in SA but obviously living in America. There definitely is some disconnect. If you're English speaking in South Africa, you very much dislike Afrikaans, again because of those biases that you experience being an English speaker amongst people who can speak Afrikaans. Afrikaans, if anything, is just like a family language, and once you learn how to speak it, because that's what you speak in your family, it is a fast language and a language you can be kind of expressive in. So people prefer to speak in Afrikaans even though they know how to speak English. At this point in my life, I'm more articulate in English than I am in Afrikaans. So sometimes I feel handicapped in trying to speak Afrikaans, so I'll switch over to speaking English even in my home. Late and gloomy in management and all the other loves. In you as well, infamous one. Hugs, infamous. There we go. You guys, I keep missing Goldfish here, and I need to tell her how much I love her eye makeup. I'm sure she'll be here in a while. Katie has been like such a blessing as well. She told me that streaming has been a little bit more comfortable to her. Makes me happy to hear. Okay, let's try again. Let's light this. Kathy, thank you for the love, my friend. I hope you're well. I know you don't say much, but I know you always sprinkle some love, and I appreciate you. Okay, lads, I'm knocked down to 2%. You were like, okay, that's about 5%, and then you were like, this isn't right. Starting over again. Tally, I'm actually curious, on what medium are you drawing? I'm guessing just like pencil and paper is what you're starting with. Do you want to go digital? What are your thoughts on drawing digital? Erasing happening, I feel. Base master. Come hang out. Getting summoned. Is saying nice things about you. What is this? This is us having a conversation. Master Sherbert. It's nice to have you here, my friend. Dutch it is. More Afrikaans, actually. Ek is Afrikaans. Dit klink baie soos Dutch, maar as ek Dutch praat, sal ek meer ek heb, yep, like a little bit more that way. Where like saying the same thing, like let's say I have a joint. Ik heb a joint, I think would be the way to say it in Dutch. And in Afrikaans it would be ek het a joint. You see, ek het a joint, ik heb a joint. Ik heb de joint. Ik heb dat joint. Ik heb die joint. I don't know if there's a sound. I think there might be. Ik heb a joint. Ek het a joint. So it's very close. Very, very close, but not quite. The antwoord is not something South Africans are proud of, unfortunately, Master Sherbert. No. Yes, I love her, and she loves you as well, I'm sure, Infamous One. I'm picking up the basics. Clothes, backpack, new shoes. The school my kiddos goes to gives me a list of supplies to pick up to go into the community supplies. Okay. How old is your son, actually, Christine? I think maybe that would give me some more information as well. Pencil to be on paper, I'm guessing. Tali. It sounds amazing. Not just pencil and paper. I like taking sketchbooks into the woods to draw. Ooh, man, that like paints a whole picture in my brain, Tali. I really like that. I mean, you can do the same thing with a tablet. Like, the reason I ask is because I'm doing most of my drawing on my cell phone right now. And it works, and it's fantastic, as a digital interface. But it's small, like drawing on something, like it's big that way, but drawing on something that's this thick, you don't really have a place to lay your hand and kind of go for lines. Especially if you want to draw with your arm instead of just your wrist, if you want straight lines. So, yeah, I want to get myself, no. I'm going to get myself an iPad with an iPen or whatever when I can. And I've made that decision mostly with the bias of a bunch of other artists that I follow on YouTube and stuff. Just because of how many of them use Procreate at the moment. It just looks like an amazing tool as well. What a brilliant explanation. As a religion, I also think Spanish. As a relation, I also speak Spanish, so that I may properly communicate with everyone in my community and in my work now. Happy smoke session. Just lit mine as well. Thank you for joining me on the 420 frequency. I appreciate you sharing this space and this energy with me today, TJ. Am I speaking in rhymes? What the fuck? That sounds amazing. It does, right, Yader? That sounds like such a vibe. Going into the middle of the forest, being inspired by the feelings you have, being in nature, putting down lines, creating little beings, new worlds. Such a blessing. I want to share things, but I feel they're not ready to be shared yet, because it's only coming in like months, like bunch of months. Yeah, I'll wait until I have one. It's about another little art project that I want to take on as well, that is going to include resin printing. Yeah. Going to have to design things in 3D and then print them, and then I'm going to do things with those 3D printed little parts. Little parts kind of go assembled, but they're also not functional. They're more artistic. Keep the ambiguity. I think that's the way you say that word. Keep the ambiguity at an all-time high. What artists do you follow? Oh goodness. Ten Han. Slew, Jazza. Man, I can't believe I forgot his name. Gawks, there we go. Uh, Andy Pizza. Who am I missing? I'm missing someone I love as well, and I know that. Escaping my brain. Uh, uh, I think that's enough for now. I think Ten Hun is like up there for me right now as one of my favorite artists to watch. His creations are definitely on the next level. And of course, obviously, I have these amazing friends called Jovan and Candace and Toasty. And Edmund does some drawings as well, you know. I just wish I could see more, especially seeing your process and how you create. If you'd be willing to share with me, of course. My kiddos is still a little guy, so most likely the supplies will be line paper, crayons, glue, construction paper, etc. I just got a job, Soviet Canada. Congratulations, my friend. I'm so happy to hear that for you. If you would be willing to, what job is it? Where did you find the job? Do you have to move to take the job? Is it far away from where you live right now? Is it something you want to be doing? How long have you been looking? As in, like, are you doing it as a new job, or have you not been employed and now you do have the job? Give me all of the details, man. I'm so happy for you. Okay, I'd say I'm at 15% now. Now, where the ears are, proportions are whacked because this is my first face. That sounds like a growth process to me, Tali. There is no sitting down and painting the Mona Lisa, you know, the first time. There is only progressively building on the skills that you gain as you build on the skills that you gain as you build on the skills that you gain. I'm also curious. Yeah, I follow a guy on Instagram that does tiny paintings inside of old mint tins. Inside of the mint tins. Why inside of the mint tins? I'm thinking now of like some sort of way of looking at them. Like maybe if you have like some sort of fisheye lens at the bottom of the tin and like a hole at the bottom of the tin as well. You know, not a complete transparent hole, but a small hole with a big lens. And you can look into that little hole and then you can see all of the inside little drawings. Maybe even turn it, see them do some whack shit. I've seen like spray can art, for example, inside of Mintons. Like, do send us a link, Christine. That sounds amazing. I would love to see those as well. I'm thinking about all of the artists that I like now. I'm trying to remember the one I feel I'm missing. Oh, there we go. Alex freaking Gray. Alex Gray. Goodness, that is like I didn't want to remember him because I feel he's more than just someone that I follow, you know, if you will. Like when it comes to his art, he's someone that I really look up to in a lot of ways. I don't feel I look up to any of the other artists that I mentioned, but like Alex Gray, I feel there's definitely a sense of like to me. I clean, and it's just for the office of a local electric company. I've been looking for a job for a couple of months. My friend, I am so happy for you. This is an absolute blessing to hear. It like brings so much joy to my heart. You deserve everything in the world. I hope you know that, Soviet Canada. I don't know if you were here yesterday, my friend, but we were talking about abundance. So it makes me so happy to hear that you are moving back into a place of abundance. Know that you are loved, my friend. Know that you are so loved. Man, it's so freaking cold today. Like I feel like I'm not closed enough. And this joint keeps dying as well. as our planet changes, our winds change with it. As a result of some of the global warming we've been experiencing, there are these hurricane winds. Hot air rises, cold air rushes to fill its void, to the point where it literally destroys buildings. You know what's the part that makes me sad? The developing countries, especially in Africa, and then like China, some parts of China, some parts of India, they're not going to discontinue using fossil fuels because it's the easiest thing, the most accessible thing at the moment. And the countries that are very much economically stable, whatever that means, economically powerful, let's say rather, got so through the use of fossil fuels for hundreds of years. 100 years. And now, countries like Africa are basically at the point where they're starting to catch up. And the only way for them to catch up is to do the exact same thing. So there is this balance slash struggle happening right now where the developed countries are trying to stop the burning of fossil fuel and switch over to renewables. But the developing countries, like Africa especially, that has oil as well, are now ramping up the production and the use of these carbon emitting fuels. So it stays the same in a way. As renewables gets installed in developed countries, the developing countries are starting up, getting all of the old technology, getting all of the gas-powered cars from all of the developed countries, and then the cycle continues. %91 of the investments in Africa are in oil. Still. It's only like 9% being invested in renewables. The Sahara Desert has enough surface area and enough sunlight to power our entire planet. The Nile River flowing through Africa has enough hydro energy to power the entire Africa. And yet, hundreds of billions of dollars are still being invested every single year in oil. Like, that is, like, how do we just stop that? How is this something we are continuing letting happen? Like, if you just take that money and invest it directly into solar technologies and into hydro especially, goodness, it changes everything. And there are people making the decision not to because they're profiting from that. And the people that are supposed to stop them don't because they profit from not stopping them. And then us, we, the humans, if you will, the ones that want to live on this planet, the ones that want to raise kids and have their kids raise kids, don't get that because of this incessant greed. And it's a part of my nature as well, This is what it means to be a human at the end of the day. I understand where it comes from. It's what we're equipped with at the base level. We want to feel secure, take care of our root, if you will. Enough food, enough shelter, enough safety. Then there is the satisfaction of emotional conversations, creativity, and sexual interactions. Then there is the energy of willpower, sometimes even dominating willpower. These are the base ingredients we've been given in this life. And you can visualize them as chakras, as levels as well. But there is this, you can imagine it as rather a double mirror, the one-way mirror, if you will, I think is a better word, between those three levels, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, and what comes next, which is the heart, where empathy enters, where genuine love enters, where compassion enters. It's an uprising from having these base needs satisfied. It's a breakthrough of having these base needs satisfied. Up from that is the throat chakra, the energy blue, communicating, listening, understanding. The third eye, intuition and insight. And then the crown. The connection with all that is. When you become stuck in these bottom energies, it becomes a negative feedback loop where you try and force with your willpower safety, security, and food, if you will. Try to force sexuality and creativity, emotions as well. Force yourself not to feel things, force yourself to feel things. And it bounces back and forth, back and forth. And it's destructive. Because it's lower vibrational. The world needs to open up. We all need to. I love you, friends. Oh, damn. Come back. Building up so much anticipation for this kitty sketch. My instant gratification focus throwing a fit. I want to see the freaking kitty. Live stream your progress right now. We want to see live how the kitty is progressing. Even in the wind. Thank you so much. for sharing this calm space with me. It feels like the most erratic calm I've experienced in my life. If you're looking for instant gratification, I can draw you a rainbow Pop-Tart cat from YouTube in about 10 seconds. Yeah, definitely, we want Nyan cat. High as a kite. I smoked this much of a joint, friend. I had the intention of light. Who thought light would be so powerful? I did, but I underestimated still, nonetheless. Ventique, thank you for being here with us. The day has been absolutely beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Are you on, dude? I smoked a joint, friend, and I set an intention. That's where the true power lies, friend, is with you. What do you want from life? From your experience? From your relationships? From your entire life? Do you see yourself wanting more hatred, more dissatisfaction, more disconnection, more separation, more judgment? It's the life I've been living, dude, for so long. I'm so happy to be on this journey with you, friends. It's what's most important. Much of the world is stuck in the negative feedback loop. The space is a contrast to that. I love you, Estian. I love you, Yader. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here with me. 50%. I think I might have made it worse, just a little bit worse, by having you like tell us the percentage, because now Giovanni can follow along with the percentage. So she's picturing things in her head, and the picturing is driving the anticipation monkey, if you will, insane. It's like, what does it look like? Does it look like this? No, I think it looks like this. No, maybe it looks like that. No, maybe it actually looks like this. I don't want instant gratification, but I want Nyan cat. There we go. Yes. Light is ever strong and ever present. That it is. Man, without light, our universe is pretty dull. But maybe that is just my current egoic understanding as well. Goodness. Right? Because if I was a being that wasn't necessarily aware of light, but maybe I had such a powerful mind that I could pick up the electromagnetic spectrums of even things as tiny as atoms, right? Then I would be able to perceive this reality down to the atomic level, even though it would be kind of magnetic waves of things like pushing away from you, right? So you would be seeing probably like fuzzy stuff all the time, but you would be seeing everything still without light. So even if there wasn't light in this universe, you would be able to perceive it that way. Right? So yeah, I think there would still be a light experience, right? Even if there wasn't the light as we understand it right now. Hang on, let me log into Discord, lol. Where can I find the link? You can find the link right there. Thank you so much, Jader. And if you click directly on the Meltmore profile, you should be able to find it there as well. Hot diggity! It is freezing today. It's probably partly the wind as well, like cutting through me like cold slices of ice. But I'm weathering it. We have 6 more minutes left, friends. We'll keep this space open for 6 more minutes. Man, I'm gonna do this stuff someday in snow as well, you know? Maybe for a little bit. I look forward to it as well. Oh god, it's freaking cold. I should stop fighting it. That's what my feeling is telling me, if you will. There's something that tells me I need to focus on breathing and almost settle into it, because technically shaking does heat me up a little bit. But it's also, in a sense, a way of resisting. Melt, you said once you'd never been in snow. I did say that, Jovan. And I would very much like to call myself out as well. Because as soon as I said that I'm gonna stream in snow one day as well, I instantly imagined myself instead inside of a nice and warm place with clear glass and snow behind me. So I was like, do I want to sit in snow? I probably will. That's why I had to add that I'll probably do it only for a while. Maybe like 20 minutes sitting in actual snow and streaming and then getting back into the heat, if you will. Uh, what you resist persists, Carl Jung. How perfectly put. I definitely feel I overcame the shivers as well. Gave my mind and my subconscious something to focus on instead. Hello, Katie. Thank you so much for being here with us, my friend. I'm so happy to have you here. We had a friend, Infamous One, like looking for you, wanting to tell you how much she loves you. So I had to pass her message on to you. This looks so relaxing. It really is. I feel the shakes coming back because I'm not breathing properly. So maybe that is something I have to become conscientious of. Breathing and talking in a way that is also synchronous. How do you breathe very deeply and conversate though? Aw, there you go. Sprinkling the love. Yes. I'm so happy that I could touch you before we could leave, my friend. It is about time that I sign out. Thank you, friends, for sharing this space with me. I really do appreciate your presence every single day. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Katie, alright, actually, I'll wait a bit. I'll wait for you friends to say goodbye as well, and then we'll leave. Oh, thanks for tagging, my dear. Thank you. Do you do meditation, and what type? Yes, I do meditation as well, my friend. Breathwork exercise meditation, I guess. Zazen is a personal favorite. I don't really know how to label the meditation I do. I sit with a good posture. I breathe. And I keep my eyes closed sometimes. Try to keep my eyes open sometimes. Yeah. Try. Love, love, love to all of you friends. Love you all. Love you, Katie. Love you, Japan. Love you, Yair. Love you, Hoopy. Love you, Alicia. Love you all, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.